I once again repeat, in S phase what happens? In S phase DNA replication is there and then centrioles multiply. In G1 phase what happens? The cell is metabolically active. In G2 phase there is protein synthesis. So this is something that has to be remembered about interphase or resting phase. Then we have M phase. M phase we have prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, which all come under karyokinesis. Cytokinesis is actually division of cytoplasm. Okay. Now questions will come. How long will it take for a cell to divide? Okay. And what actually happens in S phase? In S phase, is there any change in DNA number? What happens and how long it takes? Usually cell division, when it happens, interphase actually lasts for more than 95% and the rest is actually M phase. This is the first point. In humans, if a cell has to divide from the starting till the ending, it lasts for about 24 hours. Whereas in yeast, it is for 90 minutes. Like from interphase to cell division, it happens within 90 minutes. Okay, so this is the duration, and it depends. Obviously we can see from here only that human cell takes 24 hours, whereas yeast yeast is a unicellular fungi. It takes around 1.5 hours or 90 minutes. And what actually happens in S phase? Questions are asked here. I will give you a formula. If 2n is the number of the it is actually the diploid number. Diploid cell means it has 2n. Before S phase, after S phase also it is going to have 2n. If the content of the DNA is 2C, after S phase the content of the DNA is going to become 4C. I repeat once again, 2n is going to remain as 2n. That means if we have 46 chromosomes, we will have 23 pairs or 46 chromosomes after S phase. But the content of the DNA, if it is 2C, it's going to become 4C. This formula has to be remembered. Remember it like this, because questions are asked on this. Okay. So now we have learnt about cell cycle, what happens in cell cycle, and what are the causes that lead to cell division, what controls cell division, everything. So I am going to repeat everything again. Cell cycle has phases, right? So what are the phases in cell cycle? We have M phase and interphase. In M phase we have karyokinesis and cytokinesis. Interphase is otherwise called as resting phase. Interphase lasts for more than 95% of the duration. How long it takes for cell division to happen, like from starting to end? In humans it is 24 hours, and in yeast it is 90 minutes or 1.5 hours. And then we have to understand what is G0 phase. What actually controls cell division? The genetic content of the DNA controls the cell division. So, and what actually triggers cell division? Cell division is triggered by change in nucleocytoplasmic ratio. G0 phase is actually called as quiescent phase. Quiescent phase is that phase where the cell is going to remain metabolically active, but it is not going to enter S phase or G2 phase. It is just going to stay in G0 phase. So you could probably ask a question that what is the difference between G0 phase and G1 phase? In G0 phase the cell is metabolically active, whereas in G1 phase also cell is metabolically active. But the difference here is the cell can remain here forever, for a very long time. And here it is not going to remain for a long time. It has to be jumping itself into S phase. From G1 phase to S phase it has to go, but in G0 phase it can stay for a very long duration, like the heart cells. Imagine if heart cells were to divide, we would have like such big heart. So only when the remaining cells die, there is going to be a stimulus which is going to make sure that the cells that are lost are replaced, and the replacement happens by the division of new cells. Meaning to say that G0 phase, if a cell is remaining in this phase, it can enter G1 phase only after it gets a stimulus for cell division. But in G0 phase also there is metabolic activity going on, and G1 phase also there is metabolic activity going on. Okay. Here the in G1 phase metabolic activity happens, and then it directly jumps itself into its S phase, leading to DNA content multiplication and centrioles replication, and here ultimately it goes to G2 phase. But here in G1 phase metabolic activity is there, but it can remain there for a very long time. And we have two types of cell division. First of all, one is mitosis and the second one is meiosis. Meiosis, here if a diploid cell undergoes meiosis, at the end of the meiosis there would be haploid cells, and there would be 4 haploid cells. Okay, there would be 4 haploid cells. If a diploid cell undergoes mitosis, it will lead to diploid cell only. It is called as equational cell division, and this is called as reductional cell division. And now what cells undergo mitosis? Usually all the diploid cells undergo mitosis. Okay, and it is a rule that only diploid cell can undergo mitosis. Then what cells cannot undergo mitosis? Haploid cell cannot undergo mitosis. There is an exception to this rule. What are those? In alternation of generation in plants, we have this, and also we have an example of male honeybee. These two are exceptions to this rule. So here I have written all the things, like the summary of the whole introduction. What is the cause of cell division? And you can just pause the video and watch the questions and try to answer it, because that is the whole summary of the introduction. What is the cause that leads to cell division? It is change in nucleocytoplasmic ratio. You don't need to know the ratio because it is not important. What controls cell division? The genetic content of the cell undergoing cell division is the one which is going to control cell division. What is the result? If it is mitosis, we have 2n giving rise to 2n's. If it is meiosis, 2n, that is diploid cell undergoes, we have n. We have 4 n's. What is the duration? We have yeast cell and human cell. In humans it is 24 hours, and yeast it is 90 minutes or 1.5 hours. So this is all the thing that we have to understand. And what is the difference between cell cycle and cell division? The thing is, if a cell undergoes cell division, it would be completing its cell cycle. Okay, cell division is a part of cell cycle. That is why it is cell cycle and cell division, not cell division and cell cycle. So cell undergoes cell division and thereby completes its cell cycle. We have next types of cell division. In types of cell division, we have mitosis and meiosis. So we are going to study what happens in mitosis. That is, in mitosis we have karyokinesis and cytokinesis. In karyokinesis we have prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. Cytokinesis is the division of cytoplasm which ends mitosis. Meiosis we have two, that is meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. That is, we have prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1, and then we have prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2 and telophase 2. Here in prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1 is where reduction happens. That is from 2n it is going to become n. Here in prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2, there is no reduction. It is similar to mitosis.